I had rehearsed this call in my head too many times.
Mama.
I'm due soon. I want you to come for Omugwo. How can I come and suffer in your house?
I don't understand, Ma. What do you mean?
And just like that, I knew she wasn't coming. Emeka! Adaora.
Oh. Thank God for you. What?
This one will be strong. That's how the driver was swearing like a goat inside the bus.
I've lost my job.
Honey. We'll make it work.
Goodbye, I love you both.
We love you too. Stay safe.
Thank you, Lord, for everything.
You look strong.
This is a story about the mother who chose comfort over her own daughter. What would you do if your own mother chose comfort over helping you out during your time of need, only to show up years later when things have taken an upturn for the better? In this story, we learn how a terrible act by a mom causes her to lose her daughter, because she chose comfort over family, air conditioning over her offspring. Hit the like and subscribe button, and let us get down to this juicy story. Ngozi was 9 months pregnant when she picked up her phone and called her mother. She had been putting it off for weeks. Not that she didn't want her mother there, but she wanted her too much. Over the years, she learned that wanting things from her mother caused her pain. It often left her hurt inside. Still, she called. "Mama, I'm due soon," she said. "I want you to come for Omugwo." There was a pause on the other end of the line. "Ngozi," her mother said, "how can I come and suffer in your house?" Ngozi blinked. "Suffer? Your sister's husband has a big house. AC everywhere, everything is available. But you and your husband are managing in your one-bedroom. How do you expect me to come there and be comfortable?" Ngozi sat down slowly on the edge of her bed. The AC in her bedroom hummed quietly above her. "Mama, we have AC in the parlor and the bedroom. You can stay wherever you want. You won't suffer." "It is not the same thing," her mother said. And that was the end of it. It was not the same thing because Adeora's husband was richer. That was what her mother meant. Not that the house was too small. Not that the conditions were genuinely poor. Ngozi's husband, Emeka, didn't earn enough to impress her mother. When her mother shared where she had gone for Omugwo, it didn't feel significant. Funny enough, Ngozi's sister, Adaora, was only 6 months pregnant, while Ngozi was 9 months. They both lived on the island in Lagos, not far from each other. If their mother wanted to help both daughters, she could have gone to Ngozi first. She could have stayed for the birth. Then, she could have moved to Adeora's house for her delivery. But she did not want to do that. She packed her bag and went straight to Adeora's house. Ngozi said nothing. She hung up the phone and sat in the room that her mother had called inadequate and looked at the AC on the wall and tried very hard not to cry. She did not succeed. She gave birth 3 weeks later. It was a tough labor, and Emeka was there. The nurses were there too. Auntie Chioma, Emeka's elder sister, drove across Lagos at 2 in the morning. He called her, and without asking questions, she just came. When it ended, Ngozi held her daughter for the first time. She felt small, warm, and absurdly perfect. The baby smelled of new beginnings. So, she asked Emeka to call Adaora. She wanted to share the news herself. She wanted to hear her family's voices. Adaora picked up. She was happy, genuinely happy, and Ngozi could hear it. But behind Adaora's voice, in the background of the call, she could hear her mother. Her mother, who did not take the phone. Who did not ask to speak to her. Who said this from her spot in Adaora's cozy house. She didn't pick up the phone. She didn't call back later. She did none of the things a mother usually does when her daughter just faced the hardest challenge of her life. Oh, thank God for you. That was all. 6 words floated in the air. They weren't aimed at Ngozi, just directed toward Adaora's phone. Oh, thank God for you. Ngozi handed the baby to Emeka and turned toward the window. She did not want him to see her face in that moment. She carried a child for 9 months. 3 weeks past her due date, she went into labor. After hours of struggle, her mother's first words were 6 distant words, like coins tossed to a beggar. She cried that day. She cried from a broken heart. Emeka found her at the window. He put his free hand on her shoulder, his other arm held the baby, and he said, "Don't let it break you. She doesn't know what she is missing." He did not pretend it was fine. He did not ask her not to cry. He just stood there with her, his daughter against his chest, and let the moment be what it was. "My mother is gone," he said quietly, after a while. "But my sister is still here. Let me call her." Auntie Chioma came. She arrived the next morning with 2 bags, a list of soups she planned to cook, and an energy that filled every corner of the flat. She was not a quiet woman. She was the type of woman who cleaned what was already clean. She checked on you twice when once was enough. She asked if you had eaten and then made food before you could answer. She bathed the baby with the confidence of a woman who had done it 100 times. She cooked pepper soup so thick and rich that Ngozi ate 3 bowls in one sitting. She sat with her in the evenings when tiredness set in. She shared stories about Emeka as a child, some embarrassing, some sweet. Soon, Ngozi was laughing instead of crying. She did the Omugwo. She did it beautifully. She did it with the full weight of love, not obligation. And when she left after 6 weeks, she pressed Ngozi's hands and said, "You are stronger than you know. I am proud of you." Ngozi thought about her mother that day. She thought about the 6 words thrown from a background. And she filed the comparison quietly in the part of her mind where she kept things she was not ready to speak about yet. Then the hard times came. Emeka lost his job 4 months after their daughter was born. It did not happen slowly. It was sudden, the way a table collapses when the leg snaps. 1 month they were managing. The next month they were struggling. The month after that, struggling had a new definition. A friend of Emeka's reached out. He had built a business from nothing, a logistics and supply business that was growing fast, and he told Emeka to come and learn it. Not just observe, but genuinely apprentice, understand it from the ground up. The catch was that the learning would take time. And the friend was in another part of the city, far enough that coming home every day did not make sense. Emeka went. They didn't want to separate, so they sat together at their kitchen table and discussed the numbers and what they meant. They thought about how long they could last on Ngozi's earnings. She sold fabric and household items on Instagram. She built her page through hard work. "We will not have another child yet," Emeka said. "Not until things are better," Ngozi agreed. He would come home on weekends when he could. He would send 50,000 naira whenever his friend gave him something, which was not always and was not much, but it was what there was. Ngozi made it stretch. She learned the mathematics of scarcity, which days to buy protein, which days to manage with vegetables, how to make the baby's needs the first line of every budget and work everything else around it. During those years, her mother did not call. Not once. Not to ask how the baby was doing. Not to ask how Ngozi was managing. Not even during the period when Ngozi fell ill for 2 weeks and could barely get out of bed. But Adaora called. Adaora, her sister who lived in the big house with the AC that their mother preferred, called every week. She sent money when she had it. She came over on a Saturday once with bags of groceries and stayed the whole day, playing with the baby and cleaning the kitchen while Ngozi slept. "You are not alone," Adaora told her. "Whatever I have, we share." Ngozi found it interesting, and somewhat heartbreaking, that the person her mother chose for a comfortable life was also the one who supported her during tough times. She kept this observation quiet. She filed it with the others. Things changed in the 4th year. Emeka had mastered the business. He understood every layer of it, had built his own supplier relationships, had quietly cultivated clients while still working under his friend's name. When he went out on his own, he was not starting from zero. He was starting from a foundation that nearly 2 years of grinding had built. The contracts came. Slowly at first, and then not slowly. He moved back home. They moved from the 1-bedroom flat to a bigger apartment, and then a year after that, Emeka bought a plot of land and began to build. The duplex took 2 years to complete. When it was done, 4 bedrooms, a wide parlor, a kitchen larger than their entire first flat, AC in every room, they moved in. Ngozi stood in the kitchen of her new house and was quiet for a moment. She thought about the phone call she had made 9 months pregnant. She thought about the words, "How can I come and suffer in your house?" She thought about 6 words thrown from a background. She thought about Auntie Chioma's pepper soup and Adeora's groceries and 50,000 naira months and the years when she counted everything. She put the kettle on and started unpacking. 6 years of silence ended on a Tuesday. Ngozi's phone rang. She looked at the screen. Her mother. She stared at it for a moment. Then she answered. Her mother's voice was warm, which was somehow worse than if it had been neutral. "My daughter. How are you? I have been hearing wonderful things. Emeka has done well for himself. God is good." "He has," Ngozi said. "I heard you are pregnant again. Is it true? When are you due?" A short pause. "Soon." "Good, good. I am coming for Omugwo. Tell me when to come and I will arrange myself." Ngozi set down the glass she was holding. She had thought about this moment, not obsessively, but inquisitively. She had wondered how she would feel when it came. Angry, bitter, sad. She felt none of those things. She felt clear. "Mama," she said, "I appreciate the call, but I won't be needing your help." Silence. "What do you mean? I am your mother. This is what mothers do." "I know what mothers do," Ngozi said. "That is exactly how I know." Her mother's voice shifted. "Ngozi, you cannot still be holding that thing from before. I was just being honest then. Your house was small." "My house had AC," Ngozi said calmly. "In the parlor and the bedroom. You could have stayed wherever you wanted. I told you that." "It wasn't about the AC." "I know," Ngozi said. "It was about the size of Emeka's account." The line was quiet. "I was 9 months pregnant," Ngozi continued, her voice still level. "Adeora was 6 months. You could have come to me first, stayed through my delivery, and moved to her house in time for hers. We both lived on the island. It would have been easy. But you chose to go straight to her house, and I gave birth without you." She paused. "When I called to share the news, you were there in the background. You didn't take the phone. You didn't call me back. You said, 'Oh, thank God for you,' from wherever you were sitting." Her mother said nothing. Auntie Chioma came. Emeka's sister. She came at 2 a.m. in the morning when he called, and she stayed for 6 weeks, and she cooked pepper soup and bathed my baby and sat with me in the evenings. She did everything a mother is supposed to do. She is still here. She is still active. And she has already agreed to come again. "So what are you saying?" Her mother's voice had gone stiff. "I'm saying you should go to Adeora's house," Ngozi said. "The house with the big AC. I'm sure she will be happy to have you." She said it without cruelty. "Ngozi. I love you, Mama. Take care of yourself." She ended the call. She stood in her kitchen for a long moment. Through the window, she could see her daughter playing in the compound, running and cackling. Ngozi did not feel guilty. That surprised her a little. She had always assumed that when this moment came, it would be wrapped in guilt, that she would feel the specific weight that daughters carry when they disappoint their mothers. But there was no weight. There was only the feeling of a woman who had thought clearly about a situation and spoken the truth about it. Auntie Chioma came 3 weeks later. She arrived the same way she had arrived 6 years before, with 2 bags, a list of soups, and enough energy for the whole house. She held Ngozi's face in her hands when she came through the door and said, "You look strong. Good." Then she put down her bags and went to find the kitchen. The baby was born on a Wednesday morning. A boy this time. Emeka cried. He tried not to, but he was not successful.
Thank
Auntie
you, Lord,
Chioma
for
cried
everything.
openly and without embarrassment. Ngozi held her son and was quiet, the kind of quiet that comes from fullness rather than emptiness. Adaora came to visit that same evening. She sat beside Ngozi's bed and held the baby and did not say much. She did not need to. They had already said the important things across 6 years of phone calls and grocery bags and money sent without announcement and laughter shared even in the years when there was not much to laugh about. Their mother did not call that day. She called 3 days later, briefly, to say congratulations. Her voice carried the particular quality of someone who expected a door to still be open even after they had walked away from it. Ngozi thanked her politely and asked about her health and said goodbye. She did not hold anger. She did not plan revenge. She did not need to. Life had arranged things clearly enough on its own. The woman who came at 2 in the morning when called. The sister who showed up when there was nothing to gain. The husband who stood beside a window in a hospital room and told her not to let it break her. These were her people. She knew who had chosen her before the duplex. She knew who had chosen her when the address was a 1-bedroom flat with a parlor and an AC that apparently did not count. And she kept them close. The rest, she let go. Her extended family called later. They asked her to forgive her mom. They said she was her mother and deserved forgiveness. The end. Not everyone who is supposed to love you will choose to. But if you pay attention, if you watch who shows up when there is nothing to gain from showing up, you will always know who really does. What do you think she should do? Should she let bygones be bygones? Or should she go and buy a gun? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, please like and subscribe for more real-life stories. Your support helps us share life-changing experiences with you. Darloon DM.